Doug DeMuro should not be successful. He's a middle-aged guy. He's not ugly, but he's definitely not like a supermodel either.
Hey, you want to check out my car?
Not really.
He has a questionable fashion sense, and he has mediocre production quality at best.
I don't really know how to explain that, and I'm not really sure if Lexus knows how to also.
Yet, somehow in this world of helicopter shots, racetrack footage, flexing in Beverly Hills, this quirky middle-aged dude has literally become hands down my all-time favorite car YouTuber that I trust more than anyone else. And apparently, I'm not alone.
And we're gonna be going over all the quirks and features, and then we're gonna give it a Gram score. I've always wanted to say that.
I also happened to see a picture of someone sitting in the back of the Taycan, and it did look a little bit cramped. I don't know if someone's 6'3" can try it out and see what it seems like, but
how? How does he get around 1 million views on every single video? How is this possible? Let's find out.
So those are all the cool quirks and features of the Model 3.
Listen, I really enjoy cars, but I wouldn't consider myself like a car nut that knows like all the ins and outs about different types of engines or suspensions or what have you. And I'm willing to bet that you're the same. You don't care about the intricacies of what
Straight cut gears
are. No, all you care about is what the car looks like, how exhilarating is it to drive.
Sir, can I see your insurance?
Oh my God.
How valuable the car is, and most importantly, how it would feel to own the car, to maybe use it as a daily driver or just like a fun weekend car. And if you notice, all the things I just mentioned that the average person cares about, none of them relates to the technical aspects of a car. Or in other words, the general public doesn't care about any of that stuff. All they care about is how the car would make them feel. Knowing that, let's see what these other popular car channels on YouTube focus on compared to Doug. Beautiful camera work, beautiful editing, all the nerdy car specs you could ever ask for.
Porsche 918 Spyder did a 657.00.
Oh, it still has about 20.3 psi of boost. From 1.3 bar to 0.6 bar to 0.3.
But when it comes to the one thing viewers actually care about, an approachable and non-intimidating way to learn how the car would make them feel, they completely miss the mark. Sure, lap times around racetracks are super interesting, but only to gearheads that nerd out over that stuff. But when we look at Doug's stuff, it's no wonder that he doesn't really talk about any of the technical specs of the cars in his reviews. Sure, he mentions basic stuff like how powerful the engine is, but his entire videos are all centered around what the general public cares about, how the cars would make them feel.
Gosh!
What it would be like to own the car, to not only drive it, but all the minute details of getting in and out of the car, the exclusivity of it, what your money would be getting you if you bought the car. Heck, for a car channel, he doesn't even show the car driving on the road like at all throughout his entire videos. The closest you get to that is watching him drive the car from the inside of the car. But why does it still work then? It's because you get to experience what he's feeling driving the car. You can imagine how you would feel if you were to drive the car yourself.
Oh my God, that sound! It's like a Formula One car! Yeah. That is crazy! Did you hear that?
And what is the result of this? Where big name channels with movie level production quality can only capture like a small audience of gearheads, Doug captures the general public. And because of that, he gets a ton of more views, more support, and overall more success. So why is Doug where he's at? He appeals to a bigger general audience by understanding exactly what people want. Here is the market of car channels in a nutshell. You either have the high production companies with what seems like an infinite budget to spend on racetracks, helicopter shots, etc. Or you have the rich guy that seems to buy a new car like every single month.
I'm gonna give you a tour of my car collection.
But then there's Doug. And if you've ever watched a Doug video, you know that Doug is kinda quirky, to say the least. He's not really like any of his competitors, like at all. I mean, come on, every video he spends like 20 minutes going over just the infotainment system alone. He dorks out over all these little tiny features that no one else notices. He occasionally buys all these weird obscure cars that no one knows about, and he makes the occasional dad joke.
Drive a truck.
Now objectively, one would think the big production qualities with the fancy cameras and the rich guys flexing their wealth would win over someone like Doug. But this is actually the main reason why they're losing to him. The reason why Doug is winning is not just because he reviews cool cars, because everyone does. It's not just because he appeals and understands what the general audience wants, because a lot of other people do that as well. He's successful largely because of his unique personality. You don't click on a Doug video just because it's about a Lamborghini or a Ferrari. After all, there's a surplus of those videos on these cars already. No, you click on a Doug video because you want to learn about the cool quirks and features. You want to hear him say, this. You want to hear his corny jokes and to see like a 6'3" man pathetically climb into a very tiny back seat. And you want to learn about the unique perspective and the small little nuances and insights that only Doug DeMuro would notice. Or in other words, you watch not just because of the cool car he's reviewing, but also because you enjoy who he is as a person, because there's no one else quite like Doug. So why is this unlikely man winning? Where others focus on things only a small percentage of the people who are into cars care about, he cuts through all of the fluff and focuses only on the one thing people do care about: how the cars would make them feel. And because of this, his audience pool is much bigger than those that just focus on like the techie stuff that gearheads are into. But catering to the right audience isn't enough. When everyone is making the same videos on the same cars, when everyone has kind of like the same gist, the same personality in their videos, you need something more. In Doug's case, it's his hilarious and oddly delightful personality to where you're not just watching for the cars, you're watching because it's Doug and no one else is quite like Doug. And because of this, where other channels can barely get any views to them getting sporadic and inconsistent views at best, this just goes to show how far understanding your customers, understanding your audience in this case, and having a unique perspective can take you. So thank you so much for watching and being part of the Watch to the End Club, you guys. And if you are new to this channel, I do videos like this where it's like video essays for the entrepreneur niche. So if you enjoy this style of content, please consider subscribing and turning on that notification bell so that YouTube notifies you whenever I release a new video every single week. That is literally the best way to support this channel, and also let me know who or what you want me to do a video on next in the comments down below. You can follow me on Instagram at jaketran.io. I think that's enough shameless plugs for now. So thank you so much for watching. You've been awesome. I've been Jake. I'll see you guys in the next one.